Recorded live from Studio B in the PS 101 Media Center. This is BTV. Now, here's Benjamin and Juliet.
Hello, PS 101. I'm Benjamin. Today we have the distinct honor of interviewing Hadi Partovi, the creator and CEO of the education nonprofit Code.org. Born in Iran, Mr. Partovi grew up during the Iran-Iraq War in the 1980s, and after immigrating to the United States, he spent his summers working as a software engineer to help pay his way through high school and college. Upon graduating from Harvard University with a master's degree in computer science, he pursued a career in technology, starting at Microsoft. In 2013, Hadi and his twin brother launched the education nonprofit Code.org, which Hadi continues to lead full-time as its CEO. And something you may not know is that the Hour of Code was launched in 2013, 10 years ago already, and the program has reached hundreds of millions of students spanning every country in the world. Please welcome Hadi Partovi to BTV.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. It's great to be on BTV. Nice to meet you all.
You too. It's an honor to have you with us today to talk about coding and computer science. You have such an interesting story on how computer science entered and impacted your life. Can you share what exactly drew you to computer science and coding?
So I started coding when I was living in Iran, and it was a pretty rough environment I was in. I was living in Tehran, Iran, during the time of the Islamic Revolution, and the war between Iran and Iraq was during the same time. So my childhood was much harsher than most kids. You know, but during the daytime, we were worried about the morality police, and at night we were worried about getting bombed. And for me, learning to code was really an escape. I realized that with a computer, just the interactivity, if I can create something and add to it, and if it has problems, I can fix those problems. The sort of control that gave me was really helpful, because I felt like the world outside me was completely out of my control and not really good. And on this computer, I could create whatever I wanted. And if I didn't like it, I could fix it, and I could change it, and I could make it better. And so this combination of creativity and having some part of my life that was under my control were the things that that drew me to computer science and coding. And the first programs, by the way, that I made were very simple games, but also code that made music. I always loved music, and I was writing code to get the computer to make different sounds and to play my favorite songs.
Thanks. We find that fascinating.
Hi, Mr. Partovi. My name is Juliet. It's a pleasure to have you with us on today. We use Code.org as part of the New York City Computer Science for All initiative, which started in 2015 and has become a mandated program for elementary through high school students, especially with a focus on problem solving, debugging, communication, and collaboration. Why do you feel this is so important for students today?
So learning computer science is among the most important things students your age can learn. Obviously, I would say reading and writing is probably the single most important thing a student can learn. But once you've learned reading and writing, mastering digital skills, learning how to create with technology and how to create technology is rapidly becoming the next most important thing after reading and writing, regardless of what line of work you want to go into or what you want to study. If you want to become a biologist, a physicist, a lawyer, a doctor, a nurse, a coder, an architect, even a farmer, having digital skills and knowing how to create technology, understanding how technology works, is important in every line of business. I'll give you the strangest example is farmers. You know, 100 years ago, if you were a farmer, you needed to know how to use a shovel or a plow to till the land and how to plant seeds. Today's farmers need to learn how to download security patches for their tractors, and soon they're going to need to code their tractors, because the tractors will drive themselves, and soon there'll be drones that look over the crops. And coding those drones, coding the tractors, is going to be drag and drop, just like the way you do drag and drop coding for things you make on Code.org. And so the skills you learn in terms of computational thinking, creativity, and debugging are useful in almost anything you do.
Thank you. That's a really great answer.
You once said the hour of code is designed to demystify code and show that computer science is not rocket science, that anyone can learn the basics. Why do you think that some people, especially adults, automatically get intimidated by coding and programming?
The intimidation happens way more among older people, because when I grew up, just the mindset was that coding is for the geniuses. And you'd see on television that like some 18-year-old genius boy with thick glasses and, you know, working in a dark room with special lights and like Star Wars posters and energy drinks, would like drink all these energy drinks and then like type really quickly and something magical happened. And that's what you see on TV. So you think it's like you need to be Einstein to do coding. And then you see that actually a girl like Juliet or a boy like Benjamin in 5th grade can do coding. That completely breaks that stereotype. And at your age, kids are not intimidated by coding. It's fun, it's creative, it's like other things you could learn in school, and you could become really good at it. And what's amazing is what people don't tell you is the difference between you and that genius that is creating all the apps that you use is just spending more years of time. It's not a difference between becoming Albert Einstein or being the smartest person on the planet. It's just putting in the work to learn the more advanced types of coding.
Thank you.
Apple just launched its new Apple Vision Pro technology. First, what do you think of it? And do you have any future plans for code.org that you can share with us where artificial intelligence may play a future role?
Well, those are two different questions. One's about the Apple Vision Pro, the other's about artificial intelligence. With the Apple Vision Pro, I haven't tried one yet. You know, they're not available for people to buy. They're you know, got announced today or yesterday, but it's going to be released for purchase in about a year. And I'm looking forward to trying it. I think the whole idea of having a screen on your eyes is, in the long run, possibly going to replace the screens that we have in our pockets, but it's going to take a while. You know, the Apple Vision Pro costs $3,000 to wear a computer on your head, and it kind of is a little bit clunky, and you wouldn't want to go around walking around town with that thing on your head. Once you get to a point where a computer could be this small as my glasses, and totally see-through, once we could do that, I would love to see my text messages come here, or driving directions. You know, if I'm driving my car, it just shows what I need right there. We're going to be in a world eventually, I think, when we all wear computers as glasses, so that you don't need to pick out your phone, and your screen time augments everything you see in the world around you. So then I would look at you and I would say Benjamin above your head, because it says that in my glasses, you know. But the Apple Vision Pro is still, I'd say, almost a decade away from being at that level. Now, with respect to artificial intelligence, that, unlike augmented reality, is something that is right now changing our world in a big, big way. Every part of the world is getting changed because of artificial intelligence. School is changing, but the workplace in every field of work is also changing. And Code.org has big plans for improving our curriculum to teach students how AI works, and also to teach students how to code using AI, because artificial intelligence can actually write your code for you. So once you learn the basics, you should learn not only how to code, but how to code using artificial intelligence to do your work for you. And it's like a superpower that's going to be only available to people who are good coders.
That's so cool.
We're fortunate at PS 101 because our media arts technology teacher, Mr. Hyman, who you saw before, has been exposing us to coding for several years now. But that may not be true in all schools. What would your advice be to a parent whose child is in a school that does not offer computer science classes as of yet?
That's a great question. And first of all, I wanted to say thank you to Mr. Hyman and to all of the computer science teachers who've decided to bring computer science to their classrooms, whether using code.org or using any other tool or product. But we're unfortunately in the world where, you know, at the high school level in the United States, only 53% of high schools teach computer science. In elementary schools, it's an even smaller percentage. And if you look around the globe, it's even less. And for parents who care about this, I first of all would say, check whether your school teaches computer science and consider sending your kids to schools that do teach computer science if you have a choice of schools. But if not, we have a letter that you can send to principals. If you go to code.org and if you go to code.org/your-school, it'll show whether or not your school offers computer science. You can find your school on the map. And if they don't offer computer science, it gives you a button to get a letter that you can send to the principal. And then any teacher can advocate with the principal saying, we should add a computer science course. And code.org offers free curriculum and free training so that whoever your librarian is, or the computer specialist, or the 3rd grade teacher, or the 9th grade biology teacher, whoever it is, can go through free training with code.org to become a computer science teacher.
Well, this has been very fun, but before we end, we're going to play a game we call Input Output, where I'm going to say something and you're going to give us the first thing that comes to your mind. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okie doke. Here we go. Question 1. Windows or Mac?
Mac.
Okay.
Since you're in Seattle, a Seattle dog or New York style pizza?
New York pizza.
Code.org dance party or code.org flappy?
Code.org dance party for sure.
Why?
Because it's more creative, and I played a much larger role in personally creating it, and it's the single most popular activity on all of code.org.
All right, that's interesting.
I very much agree with that. I really love the dance party, code.org. Proudest moment of your career?
Getting President Obama to host an hour of code at the White House with a classroom of students from Newark.
Wow. If you could travel back in time and give yourself one piece of technology from the present day, what would it be?
If I had to give one piece of technology, probably ChatGPT.
Why would you choose that?
ChatGPT, if you haven't tried it, is the new AI tool. It's a whole class of new AI tools that can generate almost anything. It can create stories, poems, essays, and it can create code. And it's basically a superpower for creating. And you know, almost any other technology is easier to create if you have ChatGPT. So like, you know, when you ask if you could have a wish, what would you wish for? And you'd say, oh, I'd want 100 wishes. If you want to say, I want one piece of technology, ChatGPT can help you create other pieces of technology. So it's like the wish version of the genie wish question.
Sounds interesting. Maybe I'll try it.
Best advice that anyone ever gave you, and what was it?
I've had so many great pieces of advice, so it's really hard to pick the best. I'll give you 2 pieces of best advice I've gotten. One was when I was in college, I was trying to keep all my doors open, all my options open. And my advisor said, if you try to keep all your options open, you're actually closing some doors that you don't see. And he was basically encouraging me to focus and pick one thing and get really good at one thing, because I was trying to do everything and I was doing everything okay, but if I picked one thing, I'd be the best at it. That's the first piece of advice. The second piece of advice that really resonates with me is advice I got from a famous singer, the lead singer of the band U2. And when I was thinking of starting code.org, I knew I wanted to start something with social impact, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. And he gave me a very short sentence of advice. He said, keep one foot where you're strong. Meaning, if you're doing something totally new, keep one foot where you're strong and one foot in the new thing. And so I was strong at technology. And so code.org is about education in technology, and it leverages all the skills I had in technology to do something new, which is education.
That's so great.
And finally, big network TV interview or BTV interview?
Oh, BTV interview by far.
Great answers. We hope you had fun playing along with us.
I did very much. Thank you, Benjamin and Juliet. You two are wonderful hosts.
Thank you. Over to you, Juliet.
Well, this has been a very special experience for us, and we want to thank Hadi Partovi for spending the time with us today. We've learned a lot, and we cannot thank you enough for this amazing opportunity.
Thank you to both, and thank you to Mr. Hyman, your teacher, for setting this up.
For Benjamin, Mr. Hyman, and all of us here at PS101 and BTV, I'm Juliet. As always, have a beautiful day, and thanks for spending part of your day with us.
Bye.
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 Okay. Well,
Yeah, you